if you are a home seller, if you're selling your home this summer, or it's still late spring right now. It feels like summer. So if you're selling your home this summer, you've got to price it right. Now is not the market to overprice your house. Unfortunately, there are far too many inexperienced agents giving people bad advice about price, or accepting the seller's pitch on why their house is worth more than what the market says it's worth, right? Or the seller thinks that the things that they have in the house make it worth more. And the reality is buyers have more access to data than they've ever had. And if it's priced right, it will sell. And in some instances, maybe even sell fast and get bidding wars. If it's not priced right, you're running the risk of never selling, because by the time you cut it, it may be even less. So every type of property is going to perform a little bit differently. But the errors people are making with price in a not on fire market, right? Mm-hmm. If your neighbor's house sold 3 months ago, your house isn't worth more now.
No, it's not.
Like if they sold at 500 and it's 3 months and you want 525 and you have the exact same house, your house hasn't appreciated. This is not COVID years.
Right.
We're not seeing massive appreciation. What we've really seen is, maybe a little bit of appreciation, but we're not appreciating on the average in most neighborhoods more than inflation. It's not considerable. It's not substantial. So your home has to be priced aggressive so that it can appraise and so that it can check all the boxes the buyer's going to do on the data to determine, is this property worth what they're asking for it?
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing is just like, I'm always a proponent of preaching, like, time on the market is so key. We can see all the data. Every time I look at all of our listings and I go, okay, why is something a little bit stagnant? It's okay, well, it's because of this. We know 21 to 30 days to get that property sold. I think in front of everybody's eyes, you get the most maximum exposure there. When you're pricing it right, that property goes. We see it all the time. Even now in this market, if we price it right, that property is going. It's multiple showings, multiple offers. But when you're even a little bit, even 2 to 3% higher,
you miss it.
You miss it.
Everyone can do the math, and then you sit on the market longer. And people say, like, well, I want room to negotiate. Anytime you say I want room to negotiate, guess what? You're not going to get to negotiate.
Yep.
Because the room that you're giving yourself is causing the person to say, nope, that's too high. Yeah. So every time you say I want room to negotiate, who you're negotiating with is yourself, because you're going to be the high bidder for your house.
That's it.
No one's going to buy your house. What ends up happening is they give themselves room to negotiate. Let's overprice it by 25, right? Yeah. Like we do in the 80s, right? Like we're in that economy still. And then the house doesn't sell, and then they lower it, right? And now they're just chasing. And now the buyers see that it keeps getting lowered, and they're less interested in it, because today we've never had a society with more vanity. Like, people want what other people want. They want something that's cool and hot and trendy. They don't want to tell their friends that they bought a house that's on the market for 197 days. Okay. Their friends are going to look it up and judge them. Like, everybody uses filters for everything. Like, literally, people can't even post something on social media without some sort of filter over it. They want to filter over their house too. And the filter over their house is they don't want a house that's been on the market for months and months and months.
Right.
And if you don't price it right from the beginning, in today's day and age, with how people are trained with social media and how they think, you're toast. You're going to chase the market and you're going to miss it. And then by the time you get to the second agent, you've lost a bunch of money. And not only is the price dropped, but you've eaten all those months of insurance, taxes, mortgage, and you've lost all that time of not being where you really want to be. So the best advice I have to home sellers is rip the Band-Aid off. If you have a house that you're thinking about selling, you're like, man, I'd really like 500, but if I got 450, I'd be happy. This is not the speculator market. Unless you have something massively unique, you're not getting a premium for it. And when I say massively unique, I mean like you have a $20 million property on 3 acres on Bayshore and you're the only person over 2 acres. Then maybe a premium, okay?
Right.
But you're not getting a premium in a regular neighborhood. Right. Luxury, you can get sometimes there's things you can get a premium for. We just recently sold some properties. We sold a property that had a rooftop terrace that could see the water on Bayshore.
Yeah.
That got a premium, right? That's getting a premium because somebody wants that, because they're not going to get it in something else with where the house was located.
Where to find that?
But you're not getting that kind of massive premium because your granite countertops or the cabinets that you have that probably most of the people in the neighborhood have updated, right, and yours is really clean, and it just isn't working that way. You've got to price it aggressive.
You're telling me if I install that fire pit and
in the backyard,
laid every brick by myself, that doesn't give me more money?
You're not making more money on your house because you put in that Home Depot homemade fire pit. So the other thing I'll say is I don't believe with the access to data today that you can undersell your house with a good agent. Here's what I mean by that. If you've got a really good agent, if you hire us and we get an offer, we have a strategy. We have a plan. When we get that offer, we're trying to get other people to know that it has an offer to try and get them to compete. And we're taking our time with the response to that offer because we know other offers may show up. We don't want to just move quick and have you under contract in 6 hours because the other people may have shown up. So if you have a good agent with a good system that knows how to negotiate and you get an offer really quickly, then just be patient, because if it's worth more, the buyers will flock to it and you'll get a bidding war and somebody will potentially overpay. But the only way people are overpaying on property today isn't from you pricing it high, isn't from you having the greatest house in the neighborhood. It's from getting more than one person to chase it. And you're not getting more than one person to chase it if it's overpriced.
Yeah, you have to give the opportunity up for somebody to do that. And
Yeah,
overpricing is never it.
Price it aggressive and get the activity going. When the offer happens, be patient. Counter it, go back and forth, leave enough time for more people to keep seeing that house, right? There's a timing and strategy aspect to it that I believe will ensure that you don't leave money on the table.
Yep.
Because if it's worth more, it's not what an appraiser says the house is worth. It's not what some damn website says it's worth. It's what will someone write a check for? What will someone give you money for? And if you put it out there and it's exposed to hundreds of thousands of people and gets thousands of page views, and you only get one offer after a week, that's the market's way of saying, hey, this is what it's worth.
Guess what?
Now, if you put it out there and again, it's properly marketed, a good strategy, and it gets multiple offers, that's the way of the market saying the price might be a little low. We might be able to get somebody to pay more for this. Yeah. And they're more likely to pay more out of fear of losing it to somebody else.
Right.
So
how many times would you hate losing things out? Especially when we bid, right? You ever get on the bidding websites
or
eBay or
and
stuff like that?
I've done that. I've done it on cars. And like you go to Barrett-Jackson or Meekum and you see people way overpay for cars because it's one guy looking across the aisle. I'm going to beat that guy. Yep. And then he pays 20% over the car's worth. And the same thing happens in real estate.
You got to build it up.